Got head coach Ted Boyle, Bangot Trevor, Baskin. What we're going to do is we'll have coach start with an opening statement. We'll open it up for questions for the players. We'll let the players go, and then you can continue with coach. So, coach, if you please start with an opening statement, we'll go to players.
Yeah, I mean, it's I sound like a broken record here the last 5 games, but really, really disappointing. Drop our 3rd game at home, thinking that we lost 1 in this building the entire season last year. So, and now we've lost 3, and all winnable games that we weren't good enough to win. And I told the team, I told radio, I feel like this is the poorest coach team in America. That's how I feel. Because the stuff that we talk about in practice, the stuff we talk about in huddles, it doesn't translate to the games for whatever reason. And maybe they're tuning me out. I don't know, but I'm not getting through to them, which is really frustrating. So, and we had a chance to win this game tonight. We didn't get it done. So, what are you going to do? I mean, the guys battled. They play hard. They compete. I'll give them that. But, we've got some good players on this team. I don't think we have a great player on this team, but we got a lot of good players in this team. And some of them aren't playing very good. And so we're a team that has to rely on each other. We got to be, and we don't have to be perfect for each other. We just got to rely on each other, whether it's defensively or offensively. And season low 8 assists tonight. We shot 50% in the second half, but a lot of it is one-on-one stuff. We didn't play together offensively, I think, very good tonight at all. Our offense in the game tonight relative to our offense in practice is like apples and oranges. That's another thing I don't understand. And again, it falls on me. It doesn't fall on these guys. It falls on me. So disappointing because this is a winnable game, but we come up short again.
Questions for players?
Trevor, obviously it's only your first season in the program, but being one of the older guys, I mean, how do you kind of take charge in the locker room? You and the other guys too, obviously Andre and Elijah too have been around college basketball a while, just to kind of rally the troops kind of in this situation where obviously you guys are not having to start to the big top way you want to.
I mean, it's kind of just staying resilient, and I think we really have to take it upon ourselves to do what Coach talks about and be able to be coachable more and be able to be more tuned in. And I think really just buckling down at the end of the day. I mean, like Coach said, every game's been winnable, and it's come down to execution on defense and some things like that. So it's just like a couple plays here and there, and it's a long game, but it's a long season, so we can't hang our heads. We have no time, especially because every game is going to be a dogfight like it's been so far. So we just got to find ways to get over that hump, and I think we're a resilient group, and we'll figure it out. But this sucks, and we just got to just learn from it and move on to the next one.
Bangot, for you, you had an outstanding night on both ends of the floor. What was working for you this evening? You had a career high 8 blocks in the backcourt.
I think I was just letting my defense affect the way I played offensively. I was blocking shots and creating energy, so I think that just helped me offensively get going. So yeah.
Bangot, we've seen your block shot numbers kind of going up more recently, and Tad has talked about your potential as a kind of that rim protector back there. 8 blocks tonight. Do you feel like you're kind of figuring it out on that end of the floor and seeing how you can be effective under the basket like that?
I think I'm improving for sure, but we just got to keep getting better every day. So yeah, but I definitely feel like I'm getting better defensively.
Bangot, how did you prepare for this game, knowing that Elijah was questionable entering this game?
I just had to lock in more into the game plan, knowing I was going to play a little bit more. I knew I was going to have to play more minutes too as well, so I had to make the most of my minutes and play hard. And yeah, that's really all. I just came in with an attack mindset.
For Trevor, kind of midway through the second half, you guys went on a nice run, took the lead there for a minute. Just what was working well for you guys during that period?
It was what Coach preaches every day in practice: getting stops, rebounding the ball, and getting out and running. So just playing Colorado basketball, and I think it relieved a little bit of the pressure and allowed us to pull out in front for a second. And it was, yeah, I just wish we could have sustained that for a little more and a little longer.
Trevor, you guys have been a pretty good free throw shooting team coming into the season, or coming into this game. I mean, when Julian misses the front end 1-on-1, and Andre, who's a good shooter as well, misses 3, I mean, kind of what's your message to those guys, knowing what they can do and just kind of in moments like that?
I mean, just keep shooting. I mean, you can't dwell on shots that you've missed or made or missed. I mean, I missed 4 bunnies today, and I mean, you can go back and choose every shot you missed here and there, and there's a lot to choose from. But I mean, they're all great shooters. They've shot free throws millions of times, hundreds of thousands of times. So, I mean, just try to stay resilient and move on to the next one, and yeah, just not let misses affect you and continue to take good shots.
Trevor, in 4 of these 5 conference games, you guys have been within a possession in the final 5 minutes. What's kind of the mindset in those final few minutes that has led to these defensive breakdowns?
If I could tell you, I would be able to. If I knew, I would be able to help you. I mean, I think it's just mental focus that we have to do a better job of being able to take pride on being in the right position, being aware of all the situations, and being aware of just your job and being in help side and being in shell defense. But yeah, it just seems like a breakdown here, a breakdown there in every game that's kind of hurting us in the stretches, and it just comes down to discipline.
Anything else for the players? Okay, guys, if you want to leave, you can. We'll continue with Coach. Questions for Coach?
Coach, in most of these games, you've been right there at crunch time, 3-4 minutes left, either with a slight lead or neck and neck, and it's been the opposition that out executes down the stretch. Is that a sign of, the lack of mental toughness on your team, the inexperience? What do you put your finger on for those moments?
Bad coaching. Your team doesn't execute down the stretch, it's on you. Can't get a stop down the stretch, it's on you. Can't get a great shot. All I want is great shots for our team. Now, I can't make the shots for them, but we got to get great shots. And in order to win games down the stretch, you have to have players that make plays. Or I got to do a better job of crafting, some stuff offensively for them, and have them more sound defensively where we're not breaking down. And because when you break down in this league, you're going to pay for it. And that's what our guys doing. They say, Coach, wasn't my man that scored. Yeah, but, your man set the back screen, or your man, wasn't my guy. Like, it's a team defensive mindset. And we had some good things tonight. I mean, Bangot, the way he played, he was terrific. I mean, he's coming into his own now. Can we get that consistently out of him? Not that he's going to have 8 block shots every night, but we need more consistency. And right now with this team, the inconsistency. I mean, just look, coming into the game, we're the second best free throw shooting team in the league. Cincinnati's one of the worst. They make their free throws down the stretch. We don't. So you have to make plays. You have to execute down the stretch, and when your team doesn't, it's on you.
You mentioned consistency. We've seen Julian Hammond have these 20-point games and up and down. When you are with him in practice, how do you try to garner that consistency and get that product on game day?
Well, I think Julian, probably of all of our guys, has been our most consistent throughout the season up until this point. Now, in Big 12 play, guess what? People know he's our leading scorer. So what does that mean? He's going to get the best defender on him, and they're going to hound him. They're going to try to take away what he does. And so now Julian's got to become a distributor and a guy that makes passes and finds his teammates open. and gets his assist numbers up. And I think he's had some games where he's had some great assist to turnover ratios, and he's had some games where it's been very average, and he's had some games where it's been really poor. And so that inconsistency, in that part of his game is really plagued him. Now he's been a good shooter for us, and he's a good scorer. I want him to be aggressive, but sometimes you got to take what the game gives you. And I go back to some of the great point guards we've had here. Whether it was KJ Simpson or McKinley Wright, Spencer Dinwiddie, Derek White, you name it. Like, they're not going to get 20 every night. So Julian's not going to get 20 points for us every single night. But there's nights we may need him to get 20. But there's other nights we don't need him to get 20, but he's got to get his teammates involved, and get the ball inside or hit pocket passes and pick and rolls and make those plays. So I'm pleased with the way Julian's played this year, his senior year. But tonight wasn't one of his better nights. And it wasn't one of a lot of our players' better nights tonight. We've got good players who are not playing good right now. And Bangot played great tonight. I can't think of another guy that did. Good moments. Sebastian Rancic did some really, really good things, I thought, was really aggressive. Trevor did some good things. We've got guys that do good things, but they do them in spots. They don't do them consistently. And look, we missed a lot of easy shots tonight, especially in that first half. But even in the second half. And we shot 50% in the second half. I mean, it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for the players, there's no doubt. And it's frustrating for me. And, I told him the other day, our thought for the day was, when you're going through hell, keep going. The old Winston Churchill line, and that's where we're at right now. We got to keep going because we're going through hell right now. It's no fun. But nobody's going to feel sorry for us. The sun's going to get up, rise tomorrow, and we got to rise with it. We got to come to work and get better. And right now, I don't feel like we're getting better. I feel like we're kind of plowing through mud as a team.
Going back to Bangot, just how do you feel he has progressed as a ball handler this season?
Well, as long as he doesn't over dribble, I think Bangot's got to be an efficient ball handler. He can dribble for a guy his size, but when he starts playing with it and trying to shake and shimmy, and bad things are going to happen. But he's got to be able to attack a closeout. He's got to be able to just be efficient with his dribbles, and Bangot should never use more than 2 to 3 dribbles in any one move. And sometimes he over dribbles the ball a little bit, like a lot of our guys do. And our inability to pass and catch the ball for a team at this level is so poor. It's mind-boggling to me. And it's something that we've worked on, we'll continue to work on. And, teams in this league pressure you. So when they pressure you, again, we have 15 tonight. We're 16th out of 16 teams in the Big 12 in Big 12 games in turnover margin. Guess what? We're 16th in the standings, too. So until we get that turnovers figured out, it's going to, we might win some of these close ones, but we're going to be in a bunch of them.
You mentioned practice not carrying over into games, particularly offensively. Is this like a first for you in terms of that, or is it?
No. There's been a lot of teams we've had that are like that. Now, not good teams, not the good teams we've had. We've had some mediocre teams here, some teams that have kind of gone up and down, and it's come and gone. But this team's been a good practice team. They're a competitive group. I can count on one hand the number of bad practices we've had this year, and I've have a couple fingers left. Like, we haven't had a lot of bad practices. So I credit them for that. But the carryover from the practices of the games is what I'm really disappointed in.
Coach, what do you have to say about the leadership on the team? Do you feel that is an area that can get better, or an area that...
Well, look, that's something we're going to really have to hone in on and dial into, because right now is when you need that leadership. You need the leadership in the locker room. And to be a leader as a player, you have to get outside of yourself. And when I say don't feel sorry for yourselves, like, we got a lot of guys that are so worried about their game and how good Bangot played tonight, maybe how poor somebody else played tonight, and they're thinking about themselves. So, like, what do I got to do to get better? What do I got to do to get more minutes? What do I have to do? To be a leader, you got to look around and say, that guy's really struggling. Maybe I can help him. Maybe I can encourage him. Maybe I can try to make a play for him, get a shot for him, set a screen for him. I can go talk to that guy. And my sense is that's not happening. Now, it might be without my knowledge, but to my knowledge, it's not happening. And when you get, because the most natural thing we all do, when things don't go well, is we worry about ourselves. Listen, I can tell you this, the last person I'm worried about right now is Tad Boyle. The guys I'm worried about right now are in that locker room, and I've got to do more to help them. They have to do more to help themselves, and it would really help if we had a leader that brought them together and said, okay, guys, we got to change this, and this is, and what you need players who are reiterating the message of the coaching staff. And again, I don't know if we have that or not. My guess is we don't. So that might answer your question.
Anything else for Coach? Time for one more.
Just last one. You only took 13 threes tonight. I think the UCF game you only took 13 as well. I think you made over half from that game. But were you happy with the shot? That I know you missed some. You said you missed some easy looks at the rim. Where are you in terms of the looks you guys have generated?
We don't go into a game thinking, hey, we got to get 15 threes up or 20 threes up or 25 threes up. We go into a game saying we got to attack the paint. We got to attack it. And there are certain teams when you attack the paint, they suck in, they get two to the ball, they, don't let you get to the rim. Now is when we got to kick it out. And when we kick it out, you got to be able to shoot it if you're open, get it moved to the next guy if he's open, and your threes have to come as a result of getting the ball inside, whether that's to the post, whether that's on a drive and a kick, whatever it is. So, again, I'll look at the tape. All I want as a coach offensively is I want our team to get a great shot. Team to get a great shot. Now, I look at our three-point shooting numbers. Going into this game, we're shooting 29% as a team from three in Big 12 play. What were we tonight? 23%. We got good players that are, I thought going into this season, this would be a really good three-point shooting team. It hasn't been to this point. Not because they're not capable, but, and that's where shot selection comes in. And I felt like against Central Florida, we had pretty good shot selection. Against West Virginia, I was pretty pleased with it. I'll let you know tomorrow, after watching this film, how many bad shots we took. And if it's too many, then we'll try to correct that. But I just want great shots offensively, whether they're threes, whether they're twos, whether they're at the rim, but I just want great shots. And I thought we got some great shots tonight that just didn't go in. But KU held these guys to 40 points in their own building. We held them to 68 in our building. Guess what? We hold them to 40? Totally different story. We're not capable of doing that. We're not good enough to do that right now. That's on me.